Hello everyone, and welcome back to Conrail's Ohio and West Virginia Division HO Scale Layout. This is going to be a layout and workbench update for the month of July 2024. You guys will be actually seeing this on August 1st because, well, I kind of lost track of the month here a little bit, but been up to a few things this month. Obviously it's summer, so the pace is a little bit slower than the rest of the year, but still some cool stuff to show off. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I show you what I've been up to, not just on the layout, but also the workbench here at Conrail's Ohio and West Virginia Division. Alright, so as you guys can see here, we did make some progress here actually working on scenery on the layout here this month. We're kind of over here at our bridge scene where I've been really kind of pondering what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, etc. And I finally think I kind of have an idea that I want to go with and try out here. So as you guys can tell, I ripped out all the old scenery because I just wasn't at all happy with it. I think this was like the second scene I ever did on the layout, and it was no good. No good. So what I ended up coming up with, enough people said to keep the bridges that it kind of convinced me to keep the bridges. And the more I thought about it, the more somebody mentioned putting like a river in here. I thought that was a pretty gnarly idea. And what I'm going to do is, you guys can tell I'm kind of building this up with foam. This is just all set in here. That's as far as I got with it this month, but I just kind of wanted to get this set in here. And what I want to do is I want to kind of slope the edges down a little bit, and then what I want to have is I want to have like a little bit of a deep river kind of deal going on over here with a road next to it is kind of the other piece of the puzzle. I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to blend that into the backdrop back in the back, but that was kind of the initial idea. At least I was almost thinking about having the road and the river deal kind of curve, and I could have trees to kind of hide that separation into the backdrop, so it's not quite as obvious. It's not just running straight into nowhere. But that's kind of the big update for right now on this. I still need to build like a support piece to go in the middle here, but The biggest problem I really ran into here is this module is only 2 feet by 2 feet here. So it kind of limited me on what I could do. And then I made this, uh, the depth here was way too much. That's why I'm going to use the foam to bring it up a little bit and kind of bring the scene up to a little bit. Now, had this module been wider and I could have kind of feathered in the edges better, it would probably look a lot better. It's just it was too close together and a little bit too tall for what I'm trying to do. So again, we're going to take and we're going to put like a river kind of over here with like a bank on this side. And then right about here, there's going to be a little bit of an upward part, and then there'll be a road that'll go underneath these two bridges. And at the end of the day, it's going to curve into the backdrop. Hopefully by next month, at the very least, I could have like the base foam work done over here. It's going to take a lot to get all like the foam to fill in over here on the sides and to do all this here. I'm thinking about using some like rock walls over here on this edge and along here as well, just to kind of make it all kind of even, I guess you'd say, just to kind of have like a proper edge over here. So that's kind of what's going on with this. Let's go ahead and let's show off the welded rail train I've been working on here, as you guys just saw at the beginning. All right, so my other big project for this month has been getting this welded rail train actually over here on the layout. Now, as you guys can tell, there's no rail that's going to be on these cars. It's just going to be too much of a hassle, seeing as the layout currently is. All these different trains have to go back into boxes eventually and get put away because I don't have a room for running as much as I'd like to. So for now, these are just going to be an empty welded rail train. Still kind of neat in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree with that. But I think there was 13 total of these welded rail cars I built. And I'm also building one as a how-to video because a few people had asked about that. You guys will see that here shortly. But these aren't exactly perfect, but they're a good stand-in. I believe there were like one space short as far as these gaps here in between the stake pockets there on the side. So not 100% perfect, but close enough that most people aren't going to be able to tell. And then for the weathering on these, I literally just put down like a coat of rust on the top here and on these racks as well, because these cars got kind of rusted. The floors on them all were metal, so the paint wore off and all that stuff. So that's the first car of this year. Let's go ahead and pull our train down here and check out one of our next ones here. All right, so for our next car I'm showing off here, this is actually one of the cars from CMR Products. I know everybody doesn't like CMR, but they had these available, and to be honest with you guys, I could probably build these different pieces here to make these. I just don't have the time and the patience to do it, to be honest. So seeing these already 3D printed and done, it was kind of a no-brainer for me to go ahead and get them as good fill-in cars for the time being. Maybe someday when I have infinite amounts of time, I could go back and build them on the proper size car. Because these CMR cars are built on like a 40-foot flat car. They're a little bit too short, prototypically speaking, but for the time being, it's a good enough stand-in, and for as rough as they come in the box, they actually turn out pretty decent. If you look close, you could see where, like, there's the little nubs on the side from the 3D printing and stuff, but even still, I think they turn out pretty good for being 3D printed and not being the highest quality stuff. They're good enough for what I'm trying to do right now. So let's go ahead and let's get our power car up here. So again, this is another CMR car. And again, it's, this would take a lot of time to put together all these little pieces and to do all the angles and stuff to properly build one of these power cars. So this again was just, one of those good enough for what I'm trying to do kind of deals. You guys can see it kind of doesn't like to sit level and stuff, but I'm still happy with it for what it is. It's just a good stand-in until somebody does something better, or until I have time to actually build something better myself. But either way, you can see, I saw a prototype photo where it was like there was grease oil all over the side of one of these. So I went ahead and just spray bombed it with the airbrush, and then I came back in and cleaned off the reporting marks a little bit. But that's that car. Again, it's not perfect by any shake, but it's a good enough stand-in for what we're trying to do right now. So, and then we have two more of these lift cars, or two more of these like pass-through cars. That was what I saw in a video when I was watching one of these welded rail trains. And then kind of the odd duck here at the end. Nobody really makes one of these other than CMR, these rail lift cars. And this isn't even close to correct for a Conrail one. The Conrail ones didn't have this little shack on the back of it here. But again, this is what's available from CMR. So I just kind of took it and said, well, I mean, it's close enough. It'll be a good stand-in again until I could build my own at some point. But for the time being, it's, you know, that's kind of the beauty of running your own railroad here. And here on the O&WV division, we have, you know, one of our work rules required that we had a cab on our rail lift train. So it's kind of, you know, even though it's not perfect and it's not 100% right, you could kind of work that in and make it good enough. As you can tell, like the car's got like a little bit of a bow to it and stuff. And I could sit here and nitpick and go crazy, but at the end of the day, I didn't have to spend like 4 hours trying to build it. So I'm pretty happy with it for the time being. You guys tell me down below what you think. I know a lot of folks aren't big fans of CMR stuff, but at the end of the day, it's kind of, you know, I'll take it to save myself some time for now. And then when I have time down the road, I could go ahead and build something better. So that's going to kind of wrap up what I've been up to over here on the layout. Let's head over to the paint booth and I'll show you guys that welded rail car here that I've been working on. Actually, before we head over to the paint booth, I'm going to make a quick note here on the SD38 and MT4 here that you guys probably saw in last month's video. I went to program and do the speed matching on the MT4, and I ran into a little bit of trouble with it. For some reason, it wasn't wanting to respond to the DCC commands and stuff. And what I ended up finding is when I opened it up, that decoder board, when it sits in here, it's very, very tight in there. That's why we have to use that N scale decoder with these. And it actually was getting pushed down a little bit by some of the light wiring that was touching on the flywheel. So it was actually giving me a little bit of trouble. I actually just this weekend got it opened up and found that problem, put a little electrical tape on the bottom of the board to keep it from touching, and got it back together. So I still have to get this programmed. For all of you that are probably wondering where this set's at, because you guys have seen the SD38 and MT6 builds, and you guys have seen those run on the layout. This I have not actually gotten a good chance to mess with yet, just because I've been working on other stuff. So a little update on this. Hopefully I'll have this together right and running right within the next month here. All right, so here we are over at the paint booth, and here we have our welded rail car that I'm actually doing the how-to video on. I would have had it painted by now, but unfortunately I forgot to order more gray paint last week. So I didn't get a chance to paint it, but I do have the rail racks are assembled. We have our brake gear on the end of it. And for this build, it's going to be what I would call the full CR Steve experience. And what I mean by that is when everybody kept asking me to do one of these, I had actually already finished all the F41 flats I already had. I already used them all on the other trains, so I had to go out and get another one of these Bowser flat cars. And basically I went on the old eBay and bought the cheapest one I could find. And of course, when you buy the cheapest one you can find, it ends up being a bit of a basket case. So this one had some minor issues I ended up having to fix, as well as I made a few of my own issues. You guys can tell right here I kind of goofed a little bit, but that's fine. I show you how to fix stuff like that and how to move forward. So that's a little update on this. This video hopefully will be out next month. I just have to obviously finish this build first, but let's head over to the workbench and show where the majority of the work's been going on this month. All right, so now we're over here at the workbench, and the big project for this month, of course, has been our Atlas-8 build here, our LMS 711. This was a project adding DCC and sound, working marker lights, number board lights, the whole works, and then doing the weathering as well. And as you guys can tell, we're partway through the weathering process on both of these because I decided to do two at once here. The 711 is going to be the one that's actually in the build video, and the 713 is just the one that I was doing side by side with it during this process. But I'm still waiting on some airbrush paint to come in so I could do some soot along the top of this, and then I'm going to come in with that same flat black and kind of do some like grime there along the bottom of the engine doors, etc. But these two are progressing along very well. If all goes well, hopefully that video should be out in a few weeks once I get these all the way finished. And another project we've been up to here was kind of an unexpected project in a sense. We actually have a maintenance of way box car for our welded rail train, a tool supply car. Now this car is not even close to correct. It was kind of I had a 40-foot box car laying around, and I decided to try and make it a decent stand-in for one of these cars. But I'm kind of happy with how this one's turning out. It's got like the shop door in there. I'm still have to do all the rust painting, all the weathering on it. I'm actually going to do a how-to video on one of these as well here in the next month. I have the car coming for that and all. I'm actually going to use a nice KD car to work with and stuff. So this will be pretty cool when we get it a little bit farther down the pike here. And then some miscellaneous projects I'm working on. Of course, you know, some Dash 8s, because apparently I don't have enough Dash 8s, no matter how many I have. This one is actually going to be the Conrail 6091. It's going to be one of the can opener units. As you can see, I'm kind of getting some of the detail stuff done on it. This won't be a how-to video. This is just kind of my own personal build kind of thing I'm doing in the background here. And then the other one I'm working on that's been a little bit more of a pain in the rear end is the Conrail 6284, and this is one that's similar to the LMS units. Has the Dash 9 style radiator housing, the different stack, and then the different grab iron arrangement on the front, which I haven't gotten to on this one just yet. But my big holdup on these is trying to find handrails for them. Atlas doesn't have any. I emailed them, and of course they're all out of them, so that's kind of slowed that project down a little bit, because I just kind of haven't really felt like messing with it too much. And then for some reason last weekend I got a little bit of a wild hair at my rear end and decided, you know, it'd be cool if I could build some G52 coal gondolas that are actually the right size and length and all that stuff. And what we have here is a Walthers Bethgon that I got for a really good deal. I actually got a 6-pack of these from Mr. Wayne Dennis. Shout out, Wayne, you're the man. And I decided, I kind of looked at the pictures, and I was looking at pictures, and it kind of dawned on me that if you take the car and you essentially cut one rib out of it, like one center rib, that gives us our proper 11-panel sides, and it also shortens the car up like most of these East Coast cars were. And then you got to take a little bit off the top here, because this is going to be a, I believe it's a G52H. I'm having a bit of a brain fart right now, guys, but the first Bethgons Conrail did, they were shorter than all the other ones. So this is about how much you got to cut off of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a whole 6-pack of these. And then depending if I get more, I'm actually going to do the G52Rs as well, which were also a shorter car than our Walthers prototype cars are that we're starting with here. So this will be a really cool build. This will be something a build I'll do for the channel. This is just I'd call it the prototype one here. This is where for any of you guys that don't know, when I do like these kit bash builds, I always do one or two off camera before I actually record the build video. And the reason for that is just to kind of figure out things and make sure it's going to turn out decent, which, as you guys can tell, this one, it looks a little bit rough because of how you could really see that seam with the glue on there. But I'm going to clean all that up, and I think once you get a coat of paint on it, this is going to look pretty sharp. So these will be a really, really neat build when we get to them. Probably these will probably be done sometime in like late August, I'm guessing, so the videos would be in September. But either way, that's what's going on with that. And then a few oddball things I'm working on. So there's a bit of a story here. We're actually going to be doing an SD45-2 from Athearn Genesis as a build here shortly. This one will be a pretty straightforward build, and what we'll do is we'll add the brake lines down here on the trucks, and we'll open up our cab door. We're going to add ditch lights, DCC, and sound, the full works to this unit as well. And the reason for that, I don't have it handy, so I have a few of these here Loxon 58921 decoders. They have the little keep alives on the end of them. And I originally purchased them with the intent to use them on my O&WV brass builds I planned on doing next. And unfortunately, with the way the insides of the O&WV units are, there's no way to like fit them in there without mounting the decoder inside the shell. And I really, really don't want to do that. What I'm gonna end up having to do is go with a decoder buddy and a 21 pin style decoder and separate keep alive and all that, and do it that way. So that kind of has the brass builds going on hold, probably for at least a month, just because I got to get the funds together, obviously, to buy decoders again, since I goofed up and bought the wrong thing. But in the meantime, we're going to do this SD45-2 because, I mean, these things are just, I mean, who doesn't like SD45-2s? I really want to know. Who doesn't like them? They're freaking cool. And then the other thing that is currently midway ripped apart, so I'm just going to get the shell of it right now. Everybody says I'm all about the SP, but well, you know, I also like the Santa Fe and BNSF stuff as well. And I picked up this Athearn Genesis -9 here, and this is going to be just a straight ESU, DCC, and sound install. And again, since I had those extra decoders, that's what we're going to be going with here. And as you can see, all the wirings everywhere, and I did the smart thing and made notes. So this will be another build that's going to be going on the channel that I'll do, because this is a pretty simple deal to do. You just got to take out one board and put in a different one and reattach all the wires, put in a speaker, etc. But I'm sure some of you out there would like to actually see somebody do that, and that's what we're going to do. So this will be one of the projects I'm going to be working on next month as well. So that'll be pretty cool when it's done. But other than that, guys, that's really what I've been up to this month. Again, not nearly what I'd like to have accomplished. I think I always say that, but we still got quite a bit of stuff done, and we're moving forward with some more cool stuff. So,
All right, so to wrap up our video here, I'm going to go ahead and throw, and you guys can watch the rail train go on in the background here, but some things I wanted to talk about real quick that I kind of brain farted there when I was sitting at the workbench and didn't quite remember to mention. First thing, I want to kind of apologize for me being kind of slow to reply to comments and re-reply to comment replies and all that stuff. I really prefer to answer comments and stuff on my laptop computer because it's easier to type out responses and stuff. Unfortunately, I always seem to run into the problem of I never get back onto my laptop until I got to edit video again, and I don't have much time to reply to comments when I'm on there. So been trying to do them on my phone through the YouTube app as much as I can. It's just been a real hassle. So I apologize to some of you guys that, it's been taking me a week to get back to everybody sometimes. And I got to work on a better system to be able to reply to comments sooner a little bit and get that worked out there. As far as for our videos for next month, I'll go ahead and give you guys a little peek at what I'm planning here. Next week here, we'll do a look at the new Scale Trains coil cars that just came out. Those just came in end of last week for me. I got mine in, so we'll take a look at those, compare them to the first run, just kind of check them out a little bit. And then after that, we're going to have the Atlas-840 CW build with the adding DCC sound, lighting, all that fun stuff. So that'll be a pretty cool video because I'll have a little bit of weathering, a little bit of everything in it. Hopefully after that, we should be doing the welded rail car that you guys just saw a bunch of it go by there using the Bowser flat car. So that'll be another neat build that everybody's been kind of asking for. And then after that, we'll have our next installment of What's the Deal with Brass, which will be an Overland SD60M, which should be a pretty interesting one. So we'll be checking that out after that, and then probably it'll be time for another layout update after that. It's kind of crazy how you start planning this stuff out and you actually pretty much can have a whole month worth of stuff planned that's pretty quickly. So another thing I wanted to kind of ask everybody about was I know the Rapido GP38s just came in, and I've had a number of people ask me if I was going to do a review, look at these over the last year. And honestly, I hadn't really planned on it because the number series Rapido chose were all units that Conrail turned in the end of the lease in the late 80s. So I wasn't planning on picking them up, but you guys comment down below if enough of you want to see that. I'll end up getting one, and I could always weather it and renumber it and stuff. So you guys let me know down below. I just have a bunch of Atlas units, so it's kind of a like, unless it's something everybody really, really wants to see, it's not really worth it for me to pick them up. But another thing I wanted to address too is like I know a lot of you guys like the Conrail and HO scale videos, my rail fanning, my layout kind of videos. And though I'm hoping to have another one out in the next month or two, it's just a matter of I have to get the trailer train out and the stack train again because I kind of want to run those pretty bad. And if I get those out to run them, I'll make another Conrail and HO skill video. It's just a matter of having the time to do so. And with all the workbench projects I've been doing, it's kind of hard to get that couple hours I need to be able to get an entire train worth of stuff out, get it on the railroad, and get it running right, and get some videos of it. So hopefully, hopefully by September I'll have a new one of those out. It's just really a matter of time and being able to get all that in there. But again, I just want to thank everybody for watching, commenting, subscribing. The channel just keeps growing, and it's kind of crazy to me. But I really, really appreciate all you guys. I never would have thought that everything would have gotten to as far as it's gotten, and I'm curious to see where it all ends up going. So I appreciate all of you, and I hope all of you are having good months working on your model railroads if you have one, or just having a good month doing whatever you like to do. So I will see you guys in the next video.